Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It's 9 o'clock on a Sunday, which means it's time for a review show special. Now, on this week's review show special, I'm going to be looking at Unplugged. Now, Unplugged for me is the absolute best version of the walking knot I have ever seen. And I've had so many people ask me about Unplugged since they've seen the rehearsal footage of Ryland doing his orange juice act. We've been doing this thing called the Rhymentary, innovation to ovation for the last couple of months, last 2 or 3 months, which has basically followed the journey of putting a act together for Ryland for the Young Magicians Club, and putting a stage act together that basically is unique and something that we developed from scratch. In every episode, you see us building up the act and coming up with ideas for the act and what's going to be in there and what's going to be next and how we can do it. And one of the big sequences in the Orange Juice act is this Unplugged sequence. It starts at about 2.5 minutes in. It runs for about 1.5 minutes. And I've had so many people say, "Oh, I love the walking knot. This is a million times better. Where can I get it from? What is it? It's fooled me, blah, 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 blah." That I thought the best thing to do is, so many people are interested in Unplugged, is talk about it and tell you about it and give it a review. Because Unplugged is amazing. And it is probably the best version of the walking knot you'll ever see. Now, in order to tell you what this is about, in order to show you exactly what Unplugged is, I'm going to show you a performance. I'm going to show you Ryland's Orange Juice act, basically. So you're going to look at, this is rehearsal footage, final rehearsal footage of Ryland's Orange Juice act. Have a look at this. It's showing Ryland doing Unplugged. Unplugged is the sequence that starts with the lamp flickering and going off, and then goes into the cable being taken apart and put back together, and taken apart and put back together. So have a look at this. This is Ryland's Orange Juice act. Specifically look at the Unplugged section, and then come back into the studio and I'll tell you what I think of it.
Also, put the light on. We won't see anything in the dark.
Now, what you just saw there is Unplugged. Unplugged is absolutely amazing. And when you buy Unplugged, you get everything that you need in order to perform it. So you get all of I mean, it's rope. It looks like cable, but it's rope. So you get the rope, you get all of the gimmicks, you get the plug, everything. The plug is 3D printed, and it looks absolutely amazing. You get everything that you need. You also get a track. So you get the track that's used in the performance of the trick. Now, in the Orange Juice act, we took that track, or Matt took that track, and we edited it down specifically for Ryland's purposes, because there were certain things in that track that we didn't want Ryland to do in the show for a variety of different reasons. There were certain things that we did, and also the original act, which is amazing, by the way, involved a radio. And so the whole idea is they went to switch the radio on, and the radio started sparking, and lots of different radio stations were coming on. And as he tries to fix this cable to make his radio work, what's happening is he's basically doing the trick, right? And all of those radio noises didn't make any sense in Ryland's act, because the whole idea of doing it in the Orange Juice act is Ryland's trying to switch this lamp on, isn't able to switch the lamp on, and so he's trying to fix it to find out why it doesn't work, and eventually it's fixed. So it wouldn't make any sense to have any of those radio noises. There's also other sequences that we didn't want to include in there as well. So if I show you the original Unplugged as well, this is a performance of the original Unplugged. This is the track that you get when you buy the trick. So when you buy the trick Unplugged, you get this track as an audio track that you can use and you can put on your device, and you can just do it as is if you wanted to. So let's have a look at this.
Delightful, refreshing bubble up. How you'll love its tangy kiss of lemon, kiss of lime.
Congress of plans to delight children of all ages. Don't you dare miss this great show.
So the important thing about Unplugged is you really kind of have to make it your own. And what I mean by that is you get the track to be able to do the performance that you just saw, but unless you've got a radio and unless you've got like a Funken ring that's remote operated, you're probably not going to go in that direction. So you're going to need to edit that track down, which is what we did to make it work with the Orange Juice act. It is the sort of trick that's perfect to music because it all just makes sense. You know, it all just makes it. It's very easy. It's very visual. It's very easy to follow what's going on. But there's no reason why you couldn't do this as a patter piece. It could work perfectly well as a patter piece. It lends itself to comedy, obviously. But what I love about it, and if you've never seen Pavel's Walking Knot before, it's amazing. We've got a Walking Knot in our warehouse, and I used to do it for a long time. Walking knot is amazing, and if you don't know what walking knot is, you take a piece of rope, you tie it between two mic stands, cut the rope somewhere in the middle, tie it off, move the knot, open it, move the knot again, open it, and then restore. That's basically what walking knot is. So this is a variation of walking knot. Let me tell you why I prefer Unplugged to walking knot as somebody who has walking knot and Unplugged and has worked with both of them. One, it's more relatable. I think that seeing a cable is just more relatable. The plug can be seen from a distance. It's very different. It's very, very funny. You're not having to take scissors around with you. It's actually a lot easier because with the walking knot, you're having to do fake knots and so on and so forth. Whilst with Unplugged, you're just sliding a plug down. It kind of does all of the work for you, which is great. I also love the moment where instead of restoring the rope, which is what happens with the walking knot, you take the plug off, and then you're left with this one long cable, and then the thing that you're trying to switch on is working. And that's the other thing. If you're going to do Unplugged, I don't think it makes much sense if you've just got this wire running along the stage for no reason. In the original version, obviously, it was a radio. In Ryland's version, he's doing a lamp, because later on he's doing milk and, well, orange juice and light bulb. So it makes sense with that. I think you need to have something there that needs to be switched on. So you know your act better than me, but if you've got something in your act where you've got something that needs switching on and you can run a cable to it. I mean, Ryland literally just has a side table and he just gaffer tapes the end of the rope, because it is a rope, behind the lamp, and that's all that he needs to do, right? But I think you need to think that through. You also need to think through the presentation. Does it work for you to do music? You know, Ryland does a lot of stuff to music. Would this work in your show? And if not, could you make it work as a patter piece? I think, like I said before, it lends itself to comedy. There's no reason why it couldn't be a serious thing. I mean, it could be, as an illusionist, that you've got this horror type chamber that you're trying to switch on, and there's a million different ways. You just have to use your creativity. But I think that, I've had probably, and I'm not exaggerating now, I've had about 30 or 40 messages in the last couple of days about this Unplugged, because it's a little bit under the radar. It's a little bit unknown. It's not something that everybody knows about. And I've had, since the footage has gone up of Ryland, I've had so many people contact me and ask me, where can they get that from? And I think you just need to think through and see if it works in your act, because it's not the cheapest trick in the world. It's a few $100s. It's not cheap. It's very well made. That's the thing I should say. It's very, 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 very well made. It's going to last a long time. It looks good. It's also relatively easy to do. I mean, you do have to practice the handling. And if you're using a track, I don't know if you guys have ever done anything to time tracks before. Ryland does a lot with this, with the Harry Potter act, with his superhero act, with his light act. There's a lot of stuff that Ryland actually does do to music. But when you're doing a track to music, it's really important. It's very well rehearsed, even if it's not the most difficult thing in the world, because all it takes is for one moment to go wrong, and then you're behind on the track, and then the noise of connecting the cables doesn't make sense anymore, right? So you have to make sure that this is rehearsed and rehearsed and rehearsed. It's obviously a stage piece. Ryland has done this, as well as doing this in the Orange Juice act. Ryland does a traditional milk and light bulb type routine, where he starts off as saying, hey, I'm going to show you something. Let me just put this light on. And he goes to put the light on and it doesn't come on. And the whole thing is getting the light to come on. The light comes on, and then to music, he makes the milk disappear, it vanishes, and it goes in the in the light bulb. So it can be a standalone piece if you want it to be. And Ryland does that in his kid show. So this works great in a kid show, it works great in a family show, works great in a corporate show. It really does. Like I think of the Orange Juice act, and I think one of the key moments, there's 3 or 4 key moments, and I think the first key moment, I think the first key moment to a lay audience is the bowling ball with the time, so it goes and the bowling ball just appears. I think that as magicians we forget how good a bowling ball production is, especially the Richard Griffin one, where you show the case is empty and then immediately you go ba-ba. But I think this is the next key moment, and Unplugged is amazing. Unplugged is amazing. If you're wanting to put a walking knot style routine in your act, this is, in my opinion, the best version of the walking knot. It's amazing. It's not cheap. Bearing in mind, you're going to need a decent, it needs to be set up beforehand, because it needs to run into the wings. You need to connect it up, and all of that stuff. So it's not like walking knot. You can literally just take 2 mic stands, tie it there, you're good to go. With this, it has to be set up before the show begins. So before they come in, you have to have this running along the stage. that's something to consider as well. But it's amazing. And the fact that they've given you the track as well that you can then use and edit down and make your own is brilliant. And if you do get Unplugged, that's why I advise you to do it. I advise you to make this your own and make it something that that is better for you, you know, as opposed to just doing it the same way as everyone else. But for me, Unplugged gets 100%, and for all those people that contacted me, you can get it, you know, if you just type in Unplugged into Google. There's lots of places that it is available. I think that McFly Magic have it in stock right now. There's a few. It's not a standard dealer item. It doesn't go through Murphy's, but there's a lot of dealers that do have it, and I would highly recommend it. It gets 100%, and it's a key part of Ryland's new act. So I can't give it a higher rating than that. If he was here, I did ask him, and he said he would give it 1,000,000% times infinite toolings, which if you're new to Ryland's rating system, that means that's bloody fantastic. So there you go, guys. That's another review show in the bag. Another review show special in the bag. Do me a favor, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another video, so make sure you look out for that. If you haven't already checked out the Q&A, please do so. That went up live earlier on today. And I will be back again soon with another review show. I'm going to be back again on Monday with a 5x5. Lots of fun stuff coming up on Magic TV. So make sure that you check out all of it. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV. Oh, by the way, before I finish, don't forget to check out the Netrix. It's my online streaming platform for magicians, and honestly, it's the thing I'm most proud of out of everything I've done in the last 3 years in Magic. Building the Netrix is something that I'm more proud of than anything else. I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.